Imagine a time when grabbing a drink could land you in jail, yet breaking the law was more popular than ever. Welcome to Prohibition, America's bold experiment from 1920 to 1933 that aimed to cleanse society by banning alcohol. Instead, it turned the nation into a playground for bootleggers, gangsters, and secret speakeasies. Crime rates soared, fortunes were made in the black market, and the law became a nationwide joke. This wild era of American history is a tale of unintended consequences and the unstoppable human spirit to keep the party going, no matter the cost. Before Prohibition, Americans were practically swimming in alcohol. In the early 19th century, the average American over the age of 15 guzzled about 7 gallons of pure alcohol every year, about 4 shots per day. Beer, wine, and especially cheap and plentiful distilled spirits were the drinks of choice, and drinking was woven into the fabric of everyday life. However, this heavy drinking culture allegedly led to serious public health problems like rampant alcoholism and domestic violence, sparking the temperance movement that eventually brought about Prohibition. Now these highs were in the 1830s, and alcohol consumption was already on a steady decline in the decades before Prohibition in 1919, dropping from its peak of 7 gallons annually to around 2.6 annual gallons when they tried to dry things up. Not just that, but it was widely thought banning alcohol would be a failure. This begs the question, if consumption was already plummeting and the government thought it wouldn't work, why even try? Prohibition came about through a whirlwind of social movements, political maneuvering, and legislative actions. It all started with the temperance movement in the 19th century, led by multiple organizations who used their political clout to elect dry candidates who favored banning alcohol. World War I gave the movement an extra push, with proponents arguing that grain used for alcohol should be feeding troops and civilians instead. In December 1917, Congress passed the 18th Amendment, banning the manufacture, sale, and transportation of intoxicating liquors that was ratified in January 1919. To make sure this ban had teeth, Congress passed the Volstead Act in October 1919, defining what constituted intoxicating liquor and setting up enforcement measures. President Woodrow Wilson tried to veto it, but Congress overrode him, and the Volstead Act became law. Prohibition officially kicked off on January 17, 1920, and so began one of America's most infamous social experiments. Prohibition ended because it quickly became a disaster, causing more chaos than it cured. The booze ban led to a surge in illegal activities, with bootlegging and speakeasies popping up everywhere, and organized crime thriving like never before. The government also took a huge financial hit, losing out on the tax revenue from alcohol sales, which was desperately needed during the Great Depression. As people witnessed the mess Prohibition created, public opinion shifted, and political leaders like FDR called for its repeal. In 1933, the 21st Amendment was passed and ratified, officially scrapping the 18th Amendment and ending Prohibition. This brought back the legal production and sale of alcohol, restoring a crucial source of government revenue and curbing the crime wave that had flourished under the ban. We've barely popped the cork off all the fascinating and ridiculous things that happened during Prohibition. From big-time bootleggers fighting against it, the U.S. government killing tens of thousands of citizens to enforce it, to the nefarious real reasons behind it, there is so much more for us to discuss. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel for more outlaw and rebel canon.